Now, what if I told you that there's a certain type of item that you could sell for big money on eBay and elsewhere that not a lot of other people know about? It's totally legitimate, 100% legal, yet it's also 100% fake. Now, you're probably looking at me and saying, what the heck are you talking about? It is illegal to sell counterfeit items anywhere. And that's true. You cannot legally sell counterfeit clothes, counterfeit purses, counterfeit watches, or anything like that. And that's because in those instances, you would be selling an item that is imitating a brand when it's not actually that brand. And that is deceptive to the customer. And it also hurts that brand by taking a sale away from them. But I'm not talking about an item that is imitating a brand. I'm talking about a type of item that imitates real life. Let me show you what I'm talking about through a sale I just made the other day. This is fake food, also known as faux food, FAUX. Right here is a lot of 34 fake fruits and vegetables. Now you can see there, it says $89.99. I actually took a best offer of $65 on it. Now, why was I willing to take $65 on this? The reason is because my cost of goods was $0. How was my cost of goods $0? Well, it's because I found these in 2 bags sitting inside a dumpster behind a Dollar Tree store, right on top. They weren't messy, dirty. They were actually as clean as you see right there, just sitting right up top. And that goes to prove my point that a lot of people don't realize the value of this stuff, because this is literally trash to cash. Now, you could see they're nice and bright and colorful. That is one of the reasons that people will pay up for this type of stuff, because it is decorative and it actually is considered a form of art, and it has become a type of collectible. 95% of fake food these days is actually handcrafted. They sculpt it, they take it out, they put it, they have it in molds, they airbrush it, they hand paint some of it. I mean, every company has its own way of doing it. But again, one of the reasons people like it is because it is nice to look at. So let me show you an example of another sale here. And this is a $120 sale for a fake bowl of ramen noodles, $28 shipping. And I wanted to show this item not only for the price, but also because it actually ties into the history of this whole phenomenon with fake food. Fake food actually began in Japan in the early 1900s because they didn't have traditional menus like you would think of today. And the people who were trying to sell the foods in marketplaces realized that their customers were having a really difficult time visualizing what these meals would look like. And so they were hesitant sometimes to place an order. But if they were to see the food like this, then they'd say, oh, okay, great. Now I know what that looks like. Yeah, I know I like those ingredients. I'll get that. So they would display these fake foods in their windows or in displays and, inside like cases and things like that. So now, yes, of course, they could make the food and put the real food out and show it to people that way, but that becomes an added expense of having to make that same food every single day, and also it's added time, and it's just not worth the labor of doing that. So this is why this became popular. In addition to that, if you just kept like a food that you made at like 9 o'clock in the morning, by 5 o'clock, that's going to look pretty raunchy, and you're probably not going to want to eat what you're looking at. So having these fake foods became popular for that reason. And then it started to expand into other areas where people would want to see, fake food products and to use fake food products. So it would be in places such as movies where you would need them for props, TV shows, commercials, theaters. And there's all sorts of places where it's really not ideal to keep fresh foods. Restaurants would put them in both as decoration and also as a display of certain types of items, like bringing out foods on a dessert tray, as an example. A lot of places will use fake foods for that, and they'll look very, very close to the actual item. And that is, again, tying into what I said earlier, part of the appeal to it is people are fascinated by how close it looks to the actual items. Here's an example of a woman. Her name is Akiko Obata, and she has the Guinness World Record for the most amount of fake food pieces. And if you look at interviews with her, and you watch videos, she talks about how she is just totally enamored with the colors of the food and how close they resemble the actual product in real life. And so at the time this picture was made, she had 8,000 fake food products, but by this point she probably has more. Now, this is a good example here when you see this fake ham that you would see maybe hanging from a deli or in a butcher shop. It's just going to be much more cost effective for the business owner to hang something like this up as opposed to hanging up the real thing. Saves time, saves money in the long run. Same thing with like a fake cheese. Like here, you'll see it'll say provolone on it, but it won't say an actual brand name on these unless they were actually made by the actual brand and put out by that brand. Like, let's say Boar's Head, for example, decided to make like a prop or something like that, but that's different because that's actually made by the company. Here you could see $125 for this plus $25 shipping. Now, this is a theme you definitely want to look for because this is very popular. Anything that has to do with burgers, fries, hot dogs, sundaes, things that you would get at like a car hop or a drive-through, something like that. Specifically, if it makes you think back to like the 1950s, a drive-in would be another good example, not like a modern day drive-through. So people like that, they put them on trays, they display it, and it has like a nostalgia effect. Now, you could see here that looks really bright and shiny. It almost looks like it's wet. I mean, they really put a lot of care into it to try to make it look as close as possible to the actual item. Many of you are probably used to hearing about wax fruit or wax foods, and they do make some of these products out of paraffin, which is like a type of wax, waxy material. The problem with that is that over time the coloring from that starts to fade, and then it doesn't really work as effectively as a prop. So what they use nowadays is a type of plasticky material. Most of the time they're using polyvinyl chloride, and that is much more effective. It almost has like an eternal lifespan to it. I mean, it's just, it's so bright and so shiny. Now here you could see here, this person has sold 11 of these and now has 3 available. So this person has found a way to put like combos of this together, and this is $150 for some fake burgers and fries on a tray, plus $12.50 shipping. Here's another example: $100 plus $8.58 expedited shipping. You could see there they're emphasizing the words vintage and car hop. Also, diner is another good term as well. And this is a food basket. It's got the burgers, it's got the hot dogs in it, and it's got some fries there. The use of the tray also helps out as well. So if you have some artistic skills, if you have some crafty skills, you might even be able to make something like this in some way and sell it. So it's a thing to think of if you have those kind of skills. Even something as simple as a realistic looking fake club sandwich used as a display prop has sold for $125. And I mean, look at that. I mean, that actually looks pretty tasty. I haven't had dinner yet, so I actually would, maybe I would take a bite out of that. It looks very tempting. Now, in terms of brands, I did mention brands earlier, but like I said, if a brand actually puts out the fake foods, then that's their own product and they could sell that, and you should still look for that. That's something you can sell as well, totally legitimate. There's a lot of this stuff that was made back in the 1980s. 1987 was a year they put a lot of this stuff out. So Baskin Robbins did, as you could see here. And you could see here from the back, like this is like a legitimate product that came out through them. That's a $90 sale. Dunkin Donuts did the same thing. $90 for 2 fake donuts through Dunkin. Now, it also helps, by the way, that they're in the original packaging. They haven't been open. As much of the original packaging will help increase the value. But I just wanted to pass those on as well, because those are things you also should be on the lookout for. It's fake food, but it's not counterfeit. It's made by the actual company. Now, kale is very interesting. For one little fake piece of kale, that sold for $65 plus $19.50 shipping. And kale actually has an interesting history with fake foods, because this company right here, they're actually called Fake Foods. You could see here, they got their start. They don't mention the name of the company, but they actually got their start when Wendy's was looking for fake kale to put out on their salad bar area. And so this company came up with that, and this is like one of their most popular products is that as a display. Because you think about it, especially like leafy green vegetables, they go bad really fast. They oxidize, they start turning brown. If you have something like this that just stays perpetually green, bright green, this is really beneficial to a company. So look out for this stuff. And as an honorable mention, there's also the food magnets that you should look out for too. So this is like two little olives on a food magnet, but just that theme of fake food in general is something to be on the lookout for. There's a lot of money involved in it. I hope that this was an eye opener for you and that it helps you out when you go sourcing. You will come across stuff like this from time to time at estate sales, once in a while at garage sales. If you could just grab a few pieces here and there, even if you don't find a big lot, and then just put it somewhere and amass a big lot of it, or sell it off in smaller lots. As I showed you, you can make some good money. And by the way, just a little tip on the dumpster diving. Make sure if you decide to do that, you check with your local ordinances. Make sure you check your laws, because certain places it's allowed and certain places it's not. So you don't want to get in trouble. So I hope you like the video. Make sure you come tomorrow night, Wednesday night. I'm going to do a great show with Romer the Roamer on the best book selling tips. This guy is amazing and he knows books in and out. So it's going to be a fun show, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you comment down below and hit the like button. Subscribe if you're not yet a subscriber, and check into membership. If these types of videos are helping you out, you support this channel through everything that you do, but membership helps as well. Just $1.99 to get started with lots of different perks, emoji buttons, badges, early access to videos, all sorts of things. So you can go check it out at the join button. I'll see you back at the next video, everyone. Take care.